Hello, everybody. Welcome back to BareRose Garage. It's another Sunday. Sunday's Pickup Live. What's going on? Looks like we got ASO, Auto Salvage Outlaws. You swung in there first. Good to see you, man. Then we got Mrs. One-Eyed Cat and the One-Eyed Cat himself. What's going on? Third and still 49 minutes. Thought I'd be on by now. Yeah, I slacked her over just a little bit this week. So, what's everybody been up to? Me, I've been cleaning things up, getting things all situated and ready for winter time. And part of that is trying to get this dadgum Jeep out of my yard. Sticking a 302 in a little 86, 85, 86 Jeep CJ7. Tomorrow, if you guys can catch it, I don't know what time it'll be on, but I think I'm going to set the camera out and out here and kind of do a live as I'm welding in the motor mounts and leveling it all off and everything. Tomorrow's supposed to be a good day. Today, actually today was pretty good too, but I done screwed my back up. Am I coming to the no names? No, I won't be making it this year. The potato plant right across the street, I do a little maintenance work for them on the side. Just always done it, for myself. Well, he's always been after me to get me to punch the clock. Well, he offered me enough that I'm going to go ahead and take the job, and it's not as much as I wanted, but benefits are yeah. When they implemented Obamacare, it pretty much wiped out the small business owner when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I've been struggling when it comes to insurance. So I think it's time I punch the clock again, and I'll just go over there and let them deal with that part of it. Yeah, for me and the wife, it's about $1,800 a month just in health insurance. Yeah, thank you. That's all I gotta say about that is just thank you. Uh, it drove the price up of uh, private insurance through the roof when they implemented the Obamacare. Uh, Made it tough on everybody who works for themselves. Anyway, that's what I got to do. But I've already put in for next year, so. Yeah, that's generally the way it goes. Unfortunately. But I'll be supporting all you guys from here, watching all your videos, sending as many people as I possibly can, either as spectators or whatever. I still support the No Name Nationals no matter what. It's just not in the cards this year. I was hoping to drag my feet just a little bit longer. But they're real short-handed, and well, stuff I do anyway, I might as well do it for them. But other than that, like I said, It's just another regular Hangout Sunday Live, Pickup Live. Anybody want to come on in? I got the link posted right up there. We'll talk about anything or anything. Leaving out tomorrow? You leaving Georgia tomorrow? I think that you said you were in Georgia. I did see that, Dizzy. Did Dizzy Izzy come in? I must have missed him, huh? But this week I've been shuffling things around. I sold the Lincoln. I sold two Lincolns. That parts car that I pulled the motor and tranny out of. Some teenage kids come by. Well, they're 20s, 18 to 20-year-old guys. And the guy really, really wanted my white Lincoln, which I don't give two craps about that car. Car's in pretty good, was in pretty good shape, but it's too new for me. 97. And another modular Ford. I just despise modular Fords. I hate anything with a computer on it. Well, they were driving by and they stopped in. I think they worked for the windmills up on the Skyline Ridge here. But anyway, they popped in and he asked me if I wanted to sell that. And well, I threw a number and he didn't hesitate. So I sold my car. Sold the only one on here that I actually runs around. Oh, well, it gives me an excuse to get busy on something else. But anyway, they bought that, and his brother bought the parts car, the Lincoln I've been showing there, the 71. So both of them are gone. Hey, Twisted, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Kind of took me by surprise when he jumped on that so quick. I only sold it for $1,500. The car's got a few problems. From sitting out there for all them years before I bought it, the mice and the ground squirrels and the marmots, uh, rock chucks, great big ground squirrels. They are about the size of a beaver. They got into it and they'd chewed up a bunch of wiring in it. I got most of it knocked down and taken care of, but it still had a couple of electrical issues in it. I just didn't want to dive into that, so I sold it to him for $1,500. Sold the parts car for 200. So, but uh, and I guess his dad, he wants to come down and look at all the rest of my stuff. I mean, yeah, they're kind of excited to haul off some of my stuff. Tim 72 Demon, what's going on? You just slid right on in there. Just finished dinner, huh? Have no fear, the Duckster's here. How's it going, brother? Good to see you. Oh, been beat up for the past couple of days. uh, that CJ I'm working on. All I'm doing is mounting the engine in it. Just uh, well, it was a 6-cylinder inline six, like all little CJs are. Most all CJs are. Pulled that out, and we're swapping it over to a 302 with a Ford manual transmission, and it's married to the Jeep transfer case. Well, I had the transmission, the bell housing, transmission, transfer case all mounted. Had the 302 setting, and I had to slide them together, connect them so they'll show me where to put the tranny mount, and I had to cut off all of the old towers for the straight six. Well, they unbolt. I didn't have to cut them off, just unbolted them all. And then build the mounts, all getting ready to put that. Then I slid it all down in the hole. It's down in there right now on mock-up. So tomorrow I'll do another live. I'm hoping that the weather holds. Weather permitting, I'll drag all this stuff out, set it up on our table out there, and I'll do a live of me squaring up the engine. I'll show you how I do all of that and how I modify the truck cross member for that little CJ. And well, I got some universal motor mounts from Speedway. They're actually really good motor mounts, and I'll modify them up to fit in the frame rails, and I'll show you how I do go about all that to set that engine and transmission in that little CJ. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. But when I had to slide them to that transmission and that 302 together, I had to pick up that 302 and slip it up into the alignment dowels, and I kind of overdid it. And I tore my back up pretty good. Good thing it was a 302, not a 460. Of course, if it was a 460, I wouldn't even have tried to pick that up. I don't think I'll be there for the no names. I know you just sold your car. Oh, good Lord. That was a good looking car. Twisted. Nice to have some nice 75 and 80-degree weather. Got tired of that 95 and 100 stuff. How's it out there? It hasn't been too bad the past couple of days, but we got a storm coming our way. It's supposed to hit Tuesday. I hope it holds off until Tuesday. Other than that, we've been up in the 70s, about like you are right there. It's a 11:45 somewhere. That's a good one, Wendy. Are you going to the No Name 2024? No, I won't be making it this year. I done took a regular job, closing the shop up, and yeah, just going to work for Idle Supreme. I haven't punched a clock in quite a while. Gonna be kind of different. Oh well, it's like riding a bicycle. And like I was saying earlier, the price of private medical insurance is just, it's too much. There's no way that a small business can afford that stuff. So I got to do that, and so I can get some benefits rolling in. In fact, past year, 2 years, I haven't even bothered with insurance, because medical insurance, because it's just too much. And the wife, she's a private contractor too, so yeah. Gotta love that Obamacare. It just drove the price of private insurance flat through the roof. The smoke finally cleared out today. Southern California was smoking us out. It's been going right through Utah for us. We only catch just a little bit of it, and then it shoots right over your way. I love that car. Yeah, built it, but it was just sitting. Yeah, that's the problem with a race car. They spend a lot of time sitting. Totally fun, but yeah, race car, you don't get a lot of seat time in them. I think you'd be happier with a driver. Nice, good street car you can take out to the strip every now and then, but in between you can drive it around, have fun with it. Full dedicated drag car, being single, everyone I knew getting out of racing, just let things went into giving it up. Yeah. Oh well, like I said, gives you an excuse to build another one. Spend a lot of money on them. That you do. Of course, you spend a lot of money on all of them, no matter what. Even a rat rod. We figure, even building like we do, rat rods, they're still about 10 grand, and that's on the cheap side of a budget. That's a total 100% build. At 55 we did, that was actually a little cheaper. That was about 6 grand into that one. It's got a lot of sheet metal hiding, you know, covering a lot of stuff up, and there was a lot of stuff there that we reused. So, and good night. I went and got another bottle of argon. $150 to have a bottle filled now. Good gravy. The last time I had one filled, it was almost $70, 60 something dollars. Now, yeah, that price is more than doubled. When I was injured out 3 years, it took almost 2K to get it back up and going right. I couldn't do it again. Yeah. Of course, a project, you don't have to do it all at once. You can do a little here, little there, little here, little there. That's the secret to these budget builds. You don't you don't go all in all at once. Otherwise, good lord, nobody's got that kind of money. Well, nobody I know anyway. I'm 71, so I'm Medicare and United Advantage. Still paying off my part of last year's medical bills. 10K. Yep. Amazing how much they just deny coverage. Yep. And they do everything they possibly can. Yeah. I hate getting old too, but you can't stop it. Well, there's only one way to stop it, and I don't recommend it. About the only way you can stop that is make yourself so famous they carve your name in stone. So, what's everybody else been working on? Like I said, it's one of my regular open mic lives. I got the link posted up there somewhere. So if you want, just hop on in. We'll talk about anything or anything. Landing Custom Classics. What the heck is going on, man? He came over and seen me, was it yesterday? Day before. Oh, Lord, then I could hardly walk. I was walking around like a monkey holding a football. Gonna leave early to get through Malfunction Junction, then stop and rest a while, get around 3 or later. Malfunction Junction, huh? That must be a heck of an intersection. We got one close to that, and it's on I-15, right in Salt Lake City, where what is that? I-84. The freeway takes off and goes to Denver, into Colorado. Where that comes together on I-15 there, oh, it's a mess. Gets really congested. And people in that part of Utah are in a real big hurry to go nowhere. And oh, good Lord, I swear nobody in Salt Lake City can drive. I'm just playing on my old 86 C20, huh? Pulled the motor, have a new one ready to go in, just cleaning up some old wiring and getting ready to paint it in the engine bay, going slow. Like I said, you take your time, that's the secret to a project, do it whenever you can do it. There's the one-eyed cat. What's going on?
Just a Sunday night.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, this no name's getting me all wound up.
When you taking off?
We're leaving Tuesday morning-ish.
Tuesday morning?
We're leaving Tuesday morning. We're overnighting in Cleveland. That's at my uncle's house. So it's about a third of the way. So, we're going to overnight and visit on the way out. That way, on Wednesday morning, we'll, road trip again. We're hoping to get there by dark on Wednesday. I'd like to have time to set up the tents and everything. It's about 9 hours for Wednesday morning. So we have to hit the road early if we want to beat the sunshine.
Anybody caravan down with you, or just you and your brother?
Not to my knowledge, just us. Sam Buffalo Brian will be towing the car, and then me and the wife and her Chrysler Town and Country. But I'm not really worried about the trip so much.
How many hours is it for you guys?
Total, 60? It's like 15-ish.
15?
It's like 5.5 to Cleveland, and then from there down, it's another 9.5. You get stops along the way. It depends on how long you stop. If you're in a hurry, you can make it a 12-minute stop. If you're not, you can make it a half hour, 40 minutes. I usually like to hit the road. If we pull off and I'll dig out a bologna sandwich while we're filling up for fuel. That and a Gatorade. You need those nutrients.
And they make good pee bottles.
Not with the wife. I'll give her the luxury of porcelain. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. The car's like, I put 3-inch studs on the back so I can get these aluminum slots, and I had a set of good used drag radials lined up. The guy he runs an S10, and he got new rubber. He drives a lot too. He runs where they call them hot shots. So he's only home on weekends, and it never came through. It's like, oh man, I got studs and aluminum slots and no rubber to put on them. But we got our street tires, which make a whole bunch of noise. But I got it in the works for some good used ones to show up at Sykeston, so I'm not going to fret about it.
You're going with drag radials on it?
Yep, I was spinning last year. We're going with saying I was going with more tire, and we're running 8 barrels instead of 5.
Done finally did away with that little 1 barrel in the back, huh?
Yeah, I figured it's time to step up the game. With no name nationals, you got to do better. Which I've run that 1 barrel for 10 years. I can't, it was still a great 10-year run. I mean, people scratching their heads. It's like, wait a minute. People, taking a second look.
Sent you a video, show it to Don. Made for Don. My phone won't do that. I'm fighting my phone again. Anytime somebody sends me a video on my phone, it sometimes it'll take 3, 4, 5 days to get here, and a lot of times it won't play. Something's up with it.
I put a video together yesterday, and I was downloading it, and it's still downloading. It's only, or uploading rather. It's only up to 71%. It's like, holy shit! I went to bed last night. It was at 52. It must be in 4K. Excuse me.
Are you using ClipChamp?
No, I just went through YouTube and downloaded a video. Ended up saying when we put these 3-inch studs in it, I recorded a bunch of it. It didn't turn out too bad, so I put it together and trying to send it out there, but it won't let me get it there. The mail's not in a rush all the time.
I've used ClipChamp a little bit, but every time I do, good Lord, it takes forever for it to upload.
Usually videos don't take that long for me, but this one's like 13 minutes. It's like, fuck it, they're getting a whole 13 minutes. I got done tinkering on the car today, and it was right about the time I had to close the garage up and lights out and lock up, and it's like I played that video that I'm trying to upload, and it's like, that ain't too bad, It's like, I like it. It's got a little action there, a little, I won't say drama, but it's entertaining. It keeps your attention a little bit. If nobody watches it, screw it.
It's up there.
Well, now I'll be able to delete it out of my phone, so I got more memory. There was probably 8 or 9 videos because I did snippets, and I kind of planned it along the way, so there wasn't a lot of editing. There was still a bunch of editing.
There always is.
Cutting out all the dead spots and
such. That's the only editing I do, is just cutting dead spots out. Walking over to the toolbox, cut that out.
Yeah. But eventually it'll upload, and we'll be able to public it. And
that last one I did on that, when I'm talking about distributors, that's a long one. I haven't done one that long in a very long time. But I went to bed. I started the upload about 7 o'clock at night. When I woke up at 7 in the morning, it was still trying to upload to ClipChamp. I canceled it, and I went to Windows. The paid version of Windows Editor. Now you got to buy it again instead of being free. After doing that though, that it loads up pretty quick now. Something to do with Clipchamp. I got too many features or something. I don't know.
No, this is usually it doesn't take that long to upload it, and it's still in progress. I don't want to interfere with it because then it might set me back to 0. I don't know. It'll upload eventually. Saying that went from 52 to 79% today, so we're on the way up. Maybe it's in 4K. Might be in 4K or something, and it's I don't know.
Yeah. I only do standard 1080. I don't even do high def 1080.
I don't know. It's whatever the phone or presets itself to, or whatever. I don't know. I just make a movie and send it.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I just started using. It works pretty good for it's kind of complicated, or it's not as easy to use as a editor for cutting out your spaces, your dead spaces and stuff. Kind of really primitive and real basic for that. But its upload time is like that for me. And my internet here is pretty crappy.
Pretty crappy.
That's what it was. Movie Maker Pro.
Yeah, I got to go to bed here shortly. I still got to work tomorrow yet. It's that factory deal. I got hired on. Well, I started as a temp last October 10th, and when I got hired on in January, I told them it's like when September comes, I'm gone. I'm going to no name. I don't care if I get points and I'm not calling in sick every morning. Just give you a heads up. I mean, my attendance is exemplary, so. But I had enough sick time and vacation days. I got enough. I got 2 hours vacation or sick time extra, and I'm leaving early tomorrow. So Brian's coming down probably noon, 1, 2 o'clock, and I'll be home by 3, and then we got to load up and hit. Well, load up. At least we got all the rest of the day to do that. So
you gonna do a bunch of lives and stuff, or while you're down there?
Us probably not, but who knows? I plan on recording. Hopefully, I get some of the car this year instead of finding it on everybody else's channel if I'm lucky. Dizzy put up a short here not too long ago, and that he caught me on the return road. It's like, oh, that's me. It's like, hey, that looks pretty good from here.
Junk Card Willie, what's going on, man?
Oh, man.
You cut, huh?
We'll be back by the woods, Willie. We'll be back where we were last year. We're making our own back of the bus. When I'm off to bed, I know to cut it short. I used to stay up too late on these lives, and I won't say I didn't get nothing out of it, but it made me tired the next day. I've learned to like my sleep. I like to go to work with just a little bit of pep in my step and a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I won't go very long tonight. I got all kinds of stuff I got to get done. But I thought we'd come in. I missed last week. Oof. Busy running and chasing, and I didn't get back home from town till late. Yeah, so
I think we look for you. Usually we do.
It came about the time that Ari usually comes on, and I was like, screw it.
Let Ari have the crew. Yeah, usually Ari's on late enough that, I catch Buff and Kim once in a while, but they're usually the late show.
In fact, I think Buff and Kim were taking Ari's spot then, right? Yesterday or last week.
They have a lot of lives. I enjoy their lives. They seem to do
They
well
do a
on them.
pretty good job.
Kim's always Kim's always doing something. She had the soldering gun and everything last night. It's like ring, 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 ring. It's like, give me one of those. What you're on, you know. But I'm going to head out. Yeah, it's going to be a great week, busy week.
Great seeing
Hopefully,
you. Have
hopefully
fun out there.
uneventful.
Tell everybody hi.
I will.
And I'll be there next year.
All right, and I'll hold you to that. All
Great
right,
seeing you, Don.
we're going to miss you.
I'll
But
be
we know
there with you in spirit, and I'll be
that's what I was
promoting
gonna say.
all you guys from here.
Yeah. All right, somebody will be live. Maybe we'll run into you over the weekend yet,
Ah, there you go.
or next week, whatever. Okay. All right. Night,
Great
all.
seeing you, Don. He was my first real commenter. Was Don? Back then it was Don and Wendy English. Way back. I think it was about the time I was doing first doing the Y block videos. I remember when I first doing these videos, you get to blue. Oh wow, somebody made a comment, and you look, and it's those used to get bombarded with the link people that would just post a link to probably sexy dancy girl stuff. You used to get a lot of those, and I was like, oh crap, this is just garbage. And then bloop, I got that, and it was Don and Wendy. So I'll never will forget that. They were my first real comment. It was something real basic, but hey, you always remember the first one. And then Wendy was my 500th subscriber when she broke off and made her own channel. But anyway, like I said, I won't go on too awfully long tonight, but anybody want to chop on in? Just hit the little link up there and come on in. We'll talk about anything. Must have been when I was quieter. Yeah, it was good Lord, 3 years ago now. 4 years ago now. Maybe 3 years. I don't know. It was a long time ago. Him and then Danny Boyd and Jason's, but he's changed his name now. It's Jason's RV repair something. Jason something auto and RV repair. Used to be Jason's Garage Inc. No problem, ASO. Like I said, I would do the video for you, but it'll probably take another 3 days for it to come in, and then it's a crapshoot if it'll even play it if you send it on the phone. Mama M, what's going on? Good to see you. You guys are probably getting ready to head out too. Oh. So that's what I've been having going on. Like I said, sold my car, sold the parts car, the 71 Lincoln. Oh, and I traded the driveline out of it for a 62 Ford straight axle, another half-ton straight axle. I sold the 48 straight axle to my dad for the Corvair because we are going to straight axle that and gasser it. Thinking we're going to go Chevy with it. Maybe. It's either going to go small block Chevy or another big block Ford. And I do have 2 turbos. Kind of leaning with sticking that tall deck 1987 460 down in it, and then running 2 dual turbo off of it. We just got to find a blow through carb. That's been kicking around in our noodle. Possibly going with a sniper, super sniper, because that'll they have boost control and they've already boost reference. They're made for that. So thinking about maybe going that way. I don't know. But it's still all in the parts gathering phase. I need to get all outside painting done this year so I can have time next year to work on the dart. Yeah, I need to pull that dart around too and get back busy on it. Yeah, he come up and offered the money and I couldn't say no. Should ask for a little more the fast as he said took it. I don't know. Old McDonald, you don't have to have a card to come. No, spectators are welcome. I know ASO, but no money. Yeah, the money part is the hard part. But other than that, what's everybody else been up to? We'll go on here for about another 20 minutes or so. Like I said, tomorrow I'll set up and you can watch me weld that engine in there. That sounded funny. Who needs motor mounts? Just weld it right to the frame rails. I was going to do it today, but I've just been too tore up for the past couple of days. Northern lights may be visible again next few nights. Oh, sweet. It's well, if it happens tonight, we might see them. It's not cloudy out there tonight. This time of year, this is when we get our rain. Here in this part of Idaho, it rains up until about the end of April, and then choom, is done. And we don't get a drop of rain all the way until now, generally speaking. Mostly the rain we do get, though, is just kind of moistens the ground is all, though. Mostly just dry thunderstorms. High Plains desert living. Past couple of nights, it's kind of cool sitting out on the porch and watching the lightning bounce across through the clouds. But it just wrapped right around us. I think I barely got enough rain to get the grass wet, was it. The bad thing about it is all of our soil here is almost straight sand. So it's got to have a lot of water on it to actually do anything. Paint Namer, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while. You don't get to see any cool northern lights in Cleveland, Ohio, huh? Yeah, I seen that. Somebody took some more shots at him. Are they saying 300 to 500 yards with an AK? Uh, AK style. I'm sure it's AK style. Ah, good gravy. I sure hope that this election comes out right because this is just too much. Gotta hand it to the man though. No matter what they throw at him, he's still up there and still going, and he's still standing up. So love him, hate him, whatever, he's still going. I'm most definitely voting for him. Because good gravy, it's the only one that makes sense. Of course, that's what I do. I vote for anybody who stands for the Constitution. And if you do that, that checks all the boxes for me. Just so happens that one political party has chosen it more often than the other. All we need now is an alien invasion from outer space to complete things. Ronnie Reagan did say that. The one way to unite the human race would be an alien invasion from outer space. I liked old Ronnie Reagan. He was even there at the end when he was yeah, unfortunately Ronnie wasn't there for the last 6 months of his last term. Yeah, he was gone too. He had dementia pretty bad, Alzheimer's. Yeah. But even right up to that point, and he'd come out and give a speech. It was entertaining. He had a great way of communicate. They called him the great communicator for a reason. And he kickstarted this country back in, so he's a good man. My favorite quote of his is, "The scariest thing you could ever hear is, I'm from the government and I'm here to help." Yep, that's got to be the most scary thing you can possibly hear. That he was. Bush Senior, I'm not too sure about. He did. Ah, yeah. uh, that was the only time I didn't vote for that party. I voted for Bogrites on that election. I was going to vote for Ross Perot, but Ross Perot dropped out. And then Bo, who was Ross Perot's running mate at the time, he decided to pick up, but it was way too late. And that's the only one I ever didn't vote Republican on, was that. I miss the dual quad option on the cars. Me too. Or even the three twos. Yep. And you go far enough back, and yeah, many of them are. Never bored. What's going on? Good to see you, man. One of these days, I'm gonna do another tricarb. I haven't played with that in quite some time on a V8, and of course, I do have a lot of straight sixes out there, but I just can't justify the price of that offie anymore. It costs as much to do three deuces on a straight six as it does to do it on a V8. In a V8, you get so much more out of. So I need to do that. That's just something about multiple carbs. It just looks right, feels right, and feels right. Meantime, I got to figure out a home for that tunnel ram and Muncie 4-speed that I've got going on for small block Chevy. I'm thinking that one's got to be an open engine build. So I'm thinking that'll be in a 50 Ford F4. I have enough problems learning to tune one of them. It's actually a lot easier than it looks, especially 3. The tricarb setup, that's actually very easy to tune. It's harder to do 2 4s than it is to do 3 deuces. Because on a tricarb, it actually only runs off the center carb. The other 2, those are secondaries. That's all they are, secondaries. And then you run it on a progressive linkage. So they don't even start to open up until about mid throttle. Two fours is a little different. I have a Mopar, so that leaves me out. Yeah, and last I heard, Holly bought out Wyan. Well, they've always been really tight on them for a long time, but I guess it's totally official now. And the last I heard, Holly discontinued all of Wyan's tunnel rams, blowers, all of that stuff. They're not going to produce them anymore. And if that's the case, boy, I hope that Edelbrock steps up to the plate and starts offering the stuff that Wyan used to be the only one that it made for, like a 385 series big block Ford. Wyan is it. So I really hope Edelbrock steps up and starts making tunnel rams and dual carb and tricarb setups for those and all the Mopar stuff too. that Wyand was doing. But boy, if you got the cash right now, all of that stuff is on clearance. I checked Summit and Speedway. Pretty good prices right now. If you have if you're looking for a tunnel ram, get it quick though, because once they're gone, they'll end up on eBay for twice the price. It's rare to see a small block Chevy tunnel ram around you. Only seen a few on Marketplace the last 10 years. On them, ooh, be real careful buying them used. They like to move. And if they've been abused, just be real careful if you do find any of them. I would highly recommend going new if you can. And they're still pretty reasonable. But good gravy, I've seen some of them show up on Facebook Marketplace. They're asking more than new. Just crazy. The Mopar 6-pack has larger vacuum diaphragms on the end carbs, but not as big as the Holley 3-barrel. I've never played with the Mopar 6. They use the Holleys, just like Ford, right? But which one was it? Because I've never played with the Ford either, with the 6-pack, the tri-power. Is it Ford that runs the carburetors backwards and then it's got that weird linkage that comes over to the side? Or was that Mopar? I can't remember. Chevy was 3 Rochesters, 3 2G Rochesters. Buy the Ford carbs, they are cheaper. Yeah, and Mopar, I can't remember. One of them, the carburetors are on backwards. It's either Mopar or Ford. Ford, you didn't see it. That they didn't offer that on very many. Of all of the, the big three, you seen way more GM and Mopar 6-pack, tri-carb setups than you did Ford. Ford was very limited on that. In fact, I've seen more factory dual quad in the Ford than I have the 6-packs. 3 deuces. Not gonna make it either. No problem, never bored. There you go. It was Ford that was backwards. Yep. Now there's an interesting one. Did AMC ever offer one? If so, I would have to say it was probably the 304 AMC Javelin that they ran in Trans Am, but I could be wrong. But if AMC did, I'll bet you that's where they hit it. It was a AMC Javelin, or was it the AMX? I think almost the same car, just a little bit different. But if they did, like I said, I'll bet you that's where they hit it. And it would have been the 304 because of the Trans Am rules and regulations and everything. Other than that, I don't know. I know Pontiac did. But I would love to sling that white S10 down the track for the first time. Oh, that'd be cool. Or just throw some old tires on it and run it through the burnout competition. See what you can do. Yeah, Ford did. I have seen some Holly 94 setups. That was Holly's version of the Stromberg, the 3-bolt. But that goes way back. Those were on flatheads, and that wasn't stock. Speedway still sells the kit for that, so you can take two Holly 94s and convert them over to secondaries. Takes the power valve out, takes the choke out, all that stuff. Because you only need that stuff in your primary. It will throw some rubber in third gear at 100 miles an hour. Get the little wag going. Candy Cane, boy, and Candy Cane is touting 2 Edelbrock BRSs on it now. That is one cool truck. There's Mr. Dean. What's going on? Ed's Machine. Always good to see you, brother. Yeah, like I said, it's just another open, easy Sunday pickup live. Anybody want to swing on in? Hit the little link up there, climb on in. We'll talk about anything or anything this week. Love the way Candy Cane looks. Got that old school vibe to it. That it does. And he's kept it that way. He's had that truck since high school. And he's kept it that way on purpose like that. It's pretty doggone cool. Sidewinder, what you doing, man? I see you there. You slid on in there. Eds might know the answer to that multi-carb question. Oh, which one was it? There was a couple of questions there. Which one was mounted backwards? That was the 427. Yeah, I do. Uh, which one of you got it there? The 427 Ford Tri-Carb, Tri-Power. That was Tri-Power, right? I forget their name for it. AMC worked with Edelbrock to make a STR-11 cross ram dual quad in like 70. Is that the one that it's a lot like the Chrysler one? You can get it for Chevy too. I've seen the Chevy version of the cross ram dual quad, but I don't like them. Your front carb, it's just like the old Chrysler one, but it's not as massively long as the old Chrysler. The old Chrysler one come clear up and went all the way over the valve covers, which really sucks because you got to take the intake off to open up the valve covers. But the problem with them is that front carb is isolated. So your first 4 cylinders are only fed off of that one carb on this side. And then your back one only feeds the rear. And there's no equalizing plenum like in a tunnel ram. So those 2 carbs have got to be identical. They're a tuning nightmare. But on a tunnel ram, you got the plenum up there. And that's what it does, is it equalizes for all 8 of them. So it makes it so much easier to tune. All of them were backwards. Yeah, it was Ford. Leave it to Ford. Put something on backwards. And they had that real weird looking linkage. Yeah. Let's see. Get caught back up here. There we go. Terry Grover, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Somewheres. No, I don't have it anymore. I had a Chevy version. It was broke though. It needed somebody to take it back on. I wasn't gonna mess with it. Had the boss for the thermostat housing. It was cracked right there and come up and up onto the cross ram on that side. Yeah, not good for street use at all. You want them nice and friendly and happy for street use. Tunnel ram's the way to go. Not that you know of either. Yeah, AMC. I don't remember. If, like I said, if they did, I'm sure it was in that Javelin they run for the Trans Am circuit. But I've only seen pictures of that car once, and I don't remember a whole lot about it. It was painted red, white, and blue. I know that. Dual carb in the trunk in the 69 and 70 SST race cars. Factory or dealer installed option. The cross linkage was a work of art. Yeah, it was. It was kind of. It's got that bell crank right in the center, and then the 2 arms work off of it. And as it rotates in, one's mounted around, so it pulls it this way, and you pull off the center of it. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Offenhauser makes a cross ram adapter. If you have a dual quad intake, just a standard intake inline, they make an adapter that pulls your carburetor up and over off both ends. It's kind of a ram, kind of, yeah. What it is it's an extended plenum that comes over to the side, and your carburetor mounts up here. Kind of gives you the same effect, but with that, you take advantage of the uh, open plenum inside, so it kind of helps mix it in there. I think I said that right. NSB Custom Cars, what's going on? Great to see you, brother. Very much like the Y block linkages. Oh, get caught back up here. You're not going to make it either, Ed? Yeah, I won't either. Started a new job, and yeah, I go back to punching the clock for a while. Of course, it's kind of nice punching the clock, I guess. You don't have to, you know where your payday is. It's almost like being on a fixed income again. When you go to work for yourself, there's no such thing as fixed income. And I don't have to worry about not getting paid. Yeah, that's the other fun thing of working for yourself. Yeah, trying to get people to pay up. Ugh. Yeah, that kind of snapped you up pretty good there. Hope everything's coming back together for you there, Ed. Fat fingering the phone is fun. Yeah, when you work for yourself, you know, Ed. Yeah, yeah. People, when it comes time to settle up on the bill, yeah, that's always the fun part. I'm thinking the AMX was offered with the dual 615 double pumpers, but I don't recall. And tricarb AMCs. Hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right on that AMX. I vaguely remember pictures of it. There's always next year, Ed. Some very special RE stamped Edelbrock's intakes were made. Where's the Dougster when you need him? He was in here earlier. He's bouncing around somewhere. Probably for the welded tall 291 heads. When it comes to AMC, I don't know much at all. I think all the ones that I've worked on have been 2 barrels. A friend of mine in high school, well, it was his dad's car. It was a purple, uh, early 70s. Yeah, early 70s Javelin. That's the only one I've ever tinkered and toyed with. And it was super basic stuff, tune up stuff. And never deep dove into that engine. He ended up selling it for pretty good money. AMX and Javelin were pre Chrysler. Yeah, way pre Chrysler. AMX was uh the sporty Javelin. Where your fusion weld two heads together and get a huge LS style cathedral port. Bet the NHR guys were sleeping that day. And then over there, you guys got all kinds of freaky stuff over there. Stuff that we never even got to see, let alone look at. If we take 10 inches out, we can get more dollars per pound, huh? They did use it in that was a cross ram. Yeah. You remember it too. And AMC, for being the micro guy of the last remaining, I guess you could call the four, because AMC was still down there. When it came to that car with that, they threw the book at it. Oh, everything they could throw at it, and they went all in because AMC never played with racing until then, and they didn't do too bad. The car was heavy though. Arrowhead Garage, what's going on? Great to see you. One 105-inch wheelbase, little short Valiants. 105. That's the same wheelbase as first gen S10 Blazer. Oh Lord, talk about squirrely. Set them up on the drag strip. That'd be like driving them old Ford Angulas. Back in the days when you had to drive the car because, yeah, those little suckers were, you drove them down the drag strip. They were very responsible, like having a 5,000 RPM rev limit when the cars made 315 to 340 horsepower right on 5,000 RPM. Man, most of my V8 stuff, $5,000 is good for me. especially big blocks. I know some of them will take a little bit more than that, but I'm too cheap. If the listens didn't pump up, the 390 and 401s could rev to 5,700. If the lifters didn't pump up, the 390 and 401s could rev to 5,700 RPM. $390 will take a little bit. The 401s, the 428s, yeah, keep them a little lower. About $5,000, 5,500. Good on a 428. Of course, 5,500. That's a magic number for pretty much any big block Ford. For longevity. Cast piston engines with 6-inch rods. The 6-inch and the 383 stroker small block Chevy. I like the 6-inch for durability, but I actually like the 5.7 rods for a little more power. Yeah, you can spin them a little harder, but the 5.7s, they don't tend to last as long when you stroke a 350 to 383. I think it has to do with rod angle. Wally Booth and Dick Maskin won Pro Stock in 74. Number 1 qualifying in 75. Excuse me. Maskins took 4 heads and made 2 Pro Stock heads. Yeah, AMC. Like Dean was saying, then they cut them, stack them, and weld them back up to get that cathedral port. Maskins was an artist. In 69, the 390 made 10 threes, second quarter-mile pass at NHRA. I've got one of them 390s too. In fact, it's my daily driver now. I'm down to driving a 68 Mercury. Almost a Buick nailhead in tall profile. Double the cross-sectional area. Rodney Turner, what's going on? I haven't seen you around. Good to see you, man. Is Ford better? Depends on what you're doing. I love Fords, I love Chevys, and I love Mopars. They've all got their place. My favorite one is the one that runs when I'm using it, and the one that fits my wallet when it's time to use it. But I do love the 385 series big block Ford. I that's yeah. For durability, uh, they've got their quirks, but almost unlimited torque out of them, and they're so daggum cheap to come across. Uh, and that the aftermarket now has embraced them, so you can do a lot with a 460, 429. Yeah, I'd have to say big blocks. That's probably my favorite. Is Ford. Small blocks, small block Chevy, just because of the aftermarket world and the parts availability and price. It's hard to beat a small block Chevy. Mopar, I don't play with a whole lot of Mopar because Mopar is dadgum rare around here. It is around, but you pay for it and pay for it dearly, unless it's a 318 or a slant six. Those you can pick up almost anywhere and everywhere. But anything other than them, yeah, hold on your bacon baker. Yeah, I'm with you, Dean. A few foreign V8s. I'm trying to think of a good foreign V8. I can think of some I don't like. British Leland. Oh, Windsors hold up better. I love the Windsor, the little 302, because of how small it is. You can put that little Windsor, little 302 into almost anything. But the drawback of it is it's external balanced. I wish they would have internal balanced it. That would stop them from splitting down the middle, but they only split down the middle when you take them to 12,000 RPM. But the 302 Windsor, oh, probably one of the easiest. And that, like I said, after the 80s and the 90s, when the Fox body Mustangs were ruling the roost, the aftermarket world just embraced that like no tomorrow. So you're talking a 302 Windsor, not a 351. Take that one off the shelf. But the 289, 302, oh, there's so much you can do with them for pennies on the dollar. So, yeah, I'd have to say you're right, Rodney. The Windsor, neck and neck with the small block Chevy, especially when you're playing with these old cars like pre 53 down, 54 down, when everything was inline six, and trying to fit a Chrysler or a Chevy or GM engine down into those things, dang near impossible. but you can always get a little 302 right down in the hole. No, that Leland actually made an overhead cam. They did it for Triumph and what was the other one? But the Buick 215, the little aluminum ones, when Buick quit using them, Leland went over and bought all of them, and that's why you found them in Rovers, Range Rovers, and the MG GT, the little hardtop, uh, the MG with a top on it. You found them in those. They kind of look like a shrunk up Cobra Daytona. And there was a few others, but yeah, Leland bought all of them. And you also found them in opals. That AMC post July 1969 engine was great. Would love to have a Hemi 6 in an anybody. Oh man, everybody wants a Hemi 6. Let's see. Why not the 351? The deck size goes up, so nothing else fits on them. And the aftermarket really didn't embrace the 351, so you're going to pay premium prices, and it's external balanced again, so it got bigger, wider, and if I go that route, I'm just going to go with the 350 Chevy, because I can build a 350 a lot cheaper than I can build a 351 Windsor. Yeah, you took all of the good points of the 302 and they threw it in the garbage. But that's why the price goes way up for pennies for ponies. I'd rather just go with the 302. I can get more out of a 302 for my size of my wallet. So that's why. Ford didn't want to spend money on that. The 302 was made on the old Y block transfer line, but they pulled out all of the forged crank except for the Boss 302s and tunnel ported 302s. Now, a Boss 302 heads, yeah, I'd like to find a set of them. Canned valves in a 302, you better believe I'd love to see that. But I've only seen 3 of those. And the last one sold for 67,000. But that's why, Rodney. And you can go with the Cleveland, which is dang near. The Cleveland is a little bit bigger, but a 351C, yeah, now you're talking. Then you've got the canned valves, everything. Yeah, that's the way to go. That's like a big block 385 in a small package. Triumph Stag. Yeah, there's a guy that worked for Sign Arts, he had one. That thing was just an absolute total nightmare. They sold it as a TBR for a few years. And when it came out, that was right when British Leland was in trouble, in serious trouble. So the build quality on it was, yeah. And they had head bolt problems, massive head bolt problems. That's what was wrong with his. It kept blowing head gaskets. Ever seen a 400 Cleveland? Taking a 400 and putting 351 Cleveland heads on it? I've seen that. Because those are 335 series. That's pretty common. 351M, 400, and the 351 Cleveland. Why people haven't really embraced the 400, I don't know. In fact, I gave Landon cousin Mike my 400. Cool thing about them too is they're a dry intake, so there's no coolant that runs through them. Your thermostat housing is on the block, not the intake. So if you got a creative mind, that's an easy one to make your own intake for. I should have kept that 400. Now that I think about it. Had an air gap, factory air gap intake on it. Yeah. The 289 302 cam fits the three. Yeah. But the firing order has to be that of it. Yeah, it's the 302 HO. Not the SO. The SO and the 351 share the same. Yeah. And the only way you can tell the difference visually between an SO and an HO 302 is the direction that the air cleaner comes off of. If it goes to the passenger side, it's an SO. If it goes to the driver's side, it's an HO, right? Or am I backwards? On the EFIs. And the little cover plate that says HO, you can unbolt that and stick it right over the place of a regular 302 and sell it as a HO. I've come across that more than once. They could have fixed the Stag V8, but they didn't. Yeah. One of its biggest issues, too, was the car itself. the engine sat higher than the radiator, so it was doomed to fail to begin with. The little Opals were pretty prone to that too. So it'd create air pockets, air bubbles, and steam pockets. And it made it a mother bear to fill it full of coolant. I saw a big block Chevy badged as a 400 Invader at a car show today. What's going on, Chris? Great to see you, man. No four-barrel intake manifold in 351M and 400. Yep, they were pretty much all 2 barrels, each in stock form. It was a chronic valve dropper, but okay as stock engine tooling. We have a 5-liter XR8 badge that goes on an SO and HO lifter US EFI engines. The real way to tell is pull the distributor out. And you pull the distributor out of an HO. An HO is about that much shorter than a SO. The SOs are very long. SO means standard output. HO is high output. Pain in the butt. And for a lot of years, I heard that the SO was run a standard flat tappet camshaft. And it was only the HOs that were roller. I found out that ain't true. The engine I gave to Stephen Holtz is an SO factory roller cam. Argued with the parts guy for quite a while on that one. When I was trying to get a distributor for it. Well, with that, I think we'll go ahead and close her up for tonight. I gotta go get me some more aspirins and ibuprofen. Sitting here, my back is starting to get me again. They're all starting to wear off. But I sure appreciate everybody coming in and everybody who's headed out to the No Name Nationals. Good luck out there, guys. Sorry I'm going to miss you this year, but I'll be here sitting in the office supporting you all the way. And I'll do some lives and some videos and stuff, trying to throw some attention your way, see if I can't get some people to show up as spectators, whatever, or just drag their old jalopies out there. Anyway, thanks a mil, everybody, for coming out. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to get the live set up. It's weather pending because I'll be doing it in the wide open. And you guys can see me burn in some motor mounts and fabricate some motor mounts to put that 302 in that little 86, 87 pain in my ass Jeep out there. A little CJ7. Anyway, thanks a mil, everybody, for coming out. And we'll see you either tomorrow or next week. Till then, get out there and get some metal hot. Because Lord knows this BareRose Garage doesn't do much of that. We'll see you next week.